Good morning, everyone. Virgo Triad here. It is October 16th, 2018. Everybody, forgive my voice this morning. I have a little bit of a cold going on, but this is information that is update information. I wanted to make sure everybody had the opportunity to take a look at. One of April LaJune's original clients is starting to see some lashback, we'll say, coming from the Internal Revenue Service. Now, this party was already made aware that the April to June package was a scam, so she was anticipating this coming. But I wanted for those of you that are taking a look at those packages, which I understand have gone from $300 and $450 now up to almost $1,000, what you'll be getting if you decide to go with those packages. The very first thing that's going to occur when you send in an A4V presentment to be paid is you're going to receive a nasty letter from the IRS, which is going to look something like this. As you can see, I have removed the name and social security number off of this letter for the purpose of privacy. This is an actual April LaJune client. She purchased her package in early 2018, around January, February, somewhere around there. She sent out her original A4V presentment in April. It has taken this long for her to receive information back from the IRS. And as you can see, when we take a look at this a little bit closer, the IRS is letting her know. This is in reply to your correspondence received April 30th of 2018. We have determined that the arguments you raised are frivolous and have no basis in law. Federal courts have consistently ruled against such arguments and imposed significant fines for taking such frivolous positions. All right, I'm not going to read this whole thing because I have already read one numerous times on this channel, and you can find that in the description. I will put a link to that original one that I read the entire letter. Now, more was received for this client of April LaJune's, and I'm going to be going through those things because there was more than one A4V presentment sent out. As I have explained over and over again, if the IRS tells you that they are going to fine you if you continue to move forward with these presentments that are not based in reality, it is considered a frivolous tax argument, which is illegal. At that point, they can start issuing fines. The fines start at $5,000 a piece. Eventually, if you continue to present and push on them about these ridiculous arguments, they will then start to impose criminal penalties on you. Let's take a look at a couple of the other things that were received. Here is some additional information that was received with regards to the criminal enforcement program that's available on the internet at www.irs.gov. And once you are there, which anybody can do this right now, you enter the IRS keyword fraud. It states the IRS is working with the United States Department of Justice and state taxing authorities to ensure that all taxpayers pay their lawful share of taxes and to seek criminal indictments or civil enforcement actions against people who promote or join in abusive and fraudulent tax schemes. What April LaJune is doing in her package by providing you with information on presenting A4V is considered a frivolous tax scheme. They are looking at attempting to indict those people. April LaJune has already been turned in by this client. All right, and let's take a look at this little ditty here. penalty of $5,000. Penalty in addition to other penalties. The penalty imposed by subsection A shall be in addition to any other penalty provided by law. They are not playing. They're not joking. And you pushing back will do nothing but add additional $5,000 fines to you, eventually getting you indicted for fraud. If you don't believe me, take a look at the Winston Shroud case. There are many cases that you will be able to find on Google Scholar where these $5,000 per instance of presentment of A4V have been issued. I'm not talking about you present once, you get the letter of warning, and then you present again and you get a $5,000 fine. No, they keep coming. The $5,000 fines keep coming until eventually you have enough of them that you are deep in debt, and in addition to that, you will receive an indictment, a federal indictment for tax fraud. It is illegal to be pushing this scheme as April LaJune is doing. It is also illegal to continue to file these A4V presentments and expect that they're going to get paid. They will just continue to assess fees and stop answering any kind of warning letters or anything of that sort to you. They're not going to play games. I have spoken to them personally. I have looked through the tax code. I have gone to great lengths to try to inform you guys of this. For those of you that are making claims that this is fear-mongering, so be it. I'm at the point where I don't care what you think any longer. For those of you that care about your personal safety, security, and financial stability, you need to take heed. Pick up the phone and call your local IRS office. Talk to them about accepted for value. They don't play around. These things are really happening, as you see right in front of you. It's illogical for you to think that these things are not occurring to the clients of April LaJune when I've got the paperwork right in front of your face that you can see. Some additional information in which April LaJune has claimed you do not have to provide. Let's take a look at the Privacy Act statement. Under the Privacy Act of 1974, we must tell you that our legal right to ask for information is Internal Revenue Code Section 6001, 6011, and 6012A, and their regulations. They say that you must furnish us with records or statements for any tax for which you are liable, including the withholding of taxes by your employer. We ask for information to carry out the internal revenue laws of the United States, and you are required to give us this information. We may give the information to the Department of Justice for civil and criminal litigation, our federal agencies, states, cities, and the District of Columbia for use in administrating their tax laws. If you don't provide this information or provide fraudulent information, the law provides that you may be charged penalties, and in certain cases, you may be subject to criminal prosecution. We may also have to disallow the exemptions, exclusions, credits, deductions, or adjustments shown on the tax return. This could make your tax higher or delay any refund. Interest may also be charged. Be aware that you have a 30-day period once you start receiving $5,000 fines, such as what you just saw, and then taxable interest comes into play. So it's not just the fines. You are accruing interest after the first 30 days, in addition, if that fine is not immediately paid. All right, so know the law. Don't fall for these arguments. And these are the things that are getting people in a lot of trouble. Fined with high penalties, and are sending people to prison. Yes, I said it, prison. All right, so I'm going to go through these because these will answer some questions for people who have been asking questions with regards to the tax code and tax laws. You will notice that the majority of the arguments that you will get off of channels like April LaJune's channel when trying to sell you these fraudulent packages are in here. That's why I'm going to go over them. There have always been individuals who argue taxes are illegal. They use false, misleading, or unorthodox tax advice to gain followers. The courts have repeatedly rejected their arguments as frivolous and routinely impose penalties for raising such frivolous arguments. Make sure you know the law. The United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1 states that Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. The 16th Amendment to the Constitution, ratified February 3, 1913, states, "The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on income from whatever source derived, without appointment among the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration." Congress used the power granted by the Constitution and 16th Amendment and made laws requiring all individuals to pay tax. Congress has delegated to the IRS the responsibility of administering the tax laws known as the Internal Revenue Code, the Code, and found in Title 26 of the United States Code. Congress enacts these tax laws, and the IRS enforces them. Sources of taxable income are identified in the code under Section 61, gross income defined. The list of sources under the section is not all-inclusive. Section 6702 of the code authorizes the IRS to impose a $5,000 penalty against persons who submit frivolous tax returns or other documents. So that particularly applies to accepted for value. Accepted for value is not a real financial instrument. It is not a real financial instrument. I'm just letting you guys know. Now, I know a lot of you will just try to blow this off, send a nasty comment, and move on and claim that there's some other reason why I'm doing this, whether I'm a government shill or whatever the case may be in your own mind. Regardless, you will face the $5,000 penalties and possible criminal charges because you have decided that you know the law better than what the law really is. You really haven't researched the law. You're not listening at all to anybody who actually knows the law or anything with regards to the Internal Revenue Service or the Treasury. These things that are being claimed by people like April LaJune and Anna Von Reitz and Harvey Dent and the likes of all of those individuals, Druana Johnston, Money Boy Films, you name it, Eon, all of them, they're not factual, they're not true, and they will find you in a lot of trouble. I'm going to go through the Internal Revenue Code myths that are on here because one of the things that I keep hearing from people is that taxes are voluntary. But the truth is, and this is what it states right on the form that was forwarded to the client of April LaJune's. The term voluntary compliance means that each of us is responsible for filing a tax return when required and for determining and paying the correct amount of tax. The tax law is found in Title 26 of the United States Code, Section 6012 of the Code makes clear that only individuals whose income falls below a specific level are the ones that do not have to file returns. While our tax system is based on self-assessment and reporting, compliance with tax laws is mandatory. State citizenship does not negate the applicability of the code on individuals working and residing in the United States. For those of you that would like a copy of this PDF so that you can read these arguments for yourself, because in the majority of these arguments, you will find what it is that these channels are lying to you about. You'll find in the area, the subsection that you can look at within the tax code so that you're able to assure yourself of what the real law is. So for those of you that would like a copy of this to take a look at it, because there are the majority of arguments that are on these channels that they claim to debunk are here. You can email me at virgotriad@protonmail.com, and I will go ahead and send you a copy of this sheet. All right, so I hope this helps. I hope that you guys actually listen. More and more people are coming forward. Not everybody sends this form in as this client did, but 3 or 4 of them out of the 50 or 60 that have contacted me have, and this is the latest one. Remember, these were for A4Vs that were sent in April, and it took until October to get this back from the IRS. It's not immediate. It takes months. And that's why the fraud and scam of April LaJune's packages continue to sell, because it takes months to get this paperwork back and see that you have been had. For those of you that have already paid April LaJune, please contact me at virgotriad@protonmail.com for information on the FBI agent that you need to contact and the agent of the IRS or Justice Department you need to contact that is currently taking in information with regards to April LaJune and the fraudulent packages she's selling. Hope everybody has a good day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.